Or maybe you want to gain coaching clients, right? So other people want to build their business. They speak to build their business. So I really want you to think about that first. What is your ultimate goal as a speaker? Everyone wants to do it because they're excited about it and because you're passionate about it, but passion doesn't pay the bills, right? So you've got to figure out what is it you're doing that will make that passion work for you. You know, building your business, making money, whatever that is. So first decide, where's that passion supposed to lead you? What is your end goal? Once you've figured out your end goal, the next thing you've got to figure out is your target market. And somebody said earlier, and I can't remember who now, but I always hear it, and that is, anyone who would like to hire me, I'm happy to speak for them. And yes, if somebody comes to you and says, I want to hire you, I usually don't say no, but you really, really need to hone in on your target market. Again, before you even write your signature speech, because depending on who you want to speak to, that is going to impact what and how you write your business, because you cannot be all things to all people. For you to be an expert, which is the real trick with being successful in the business of speaking, is not just that you're passionate, but that you are an expert at what you do. You need to be the expert. So number one thing, here we go, target market, that's your number one thing. And now you want to prove that you are the expert. And the one thing you're going to need to get hired by people. Now, again, it might be that they're paying you to speak. It might be that you're just getting in front of a certain group because you want to have coaching clients. You might be speaking to a certain group because you want to sell your book. Whatever that is, you're going to need video. So I often speak to people who are hiring speakers, right? I have people contact me, companies. I regularly supply speakers. And one of the first things they ask me is, do you have any video? Can I see them speaking? Because they don't know you, unless it's somebody you know one-on-one. So it's somebody you have a personal relationship with. They don't know you. So they need to see you in action. Video is endlessly important. Any opportunity you have to get video, take that opportunity. And a big thing I want to talk about right now is, what's very important is not fees, but value. The most important thing for you as a speaker, especially when you're an emerging speaker, but not only. I know people who are $15,000, $20,000 speakers who still consider value first. And especially as an emerging speaker, you want to think about, if I speak to this group, I know they're getting quality from me, right? You are bringing your message to them. You are sharing your expertise. You are giving to them, but there has to be a fair exchange. What are you getting in return? You might be getting networking. Networking is valuable, right? You get to meet people. You might be getting a speaker fee. That's huge, but a speaker fee is only a small part of it. You might be connecting with people who might become your client. You might be able, they might say, you know what, you can promote your book. You have whatever kind of book. They allow you to promote your book on the presentation. That's very valuable to you because you're going to make money on the back end. Many times an event will say, we can't pay you, but we're going to have the press there. Oh my goodness, hugely valuable. Because if your name gets written down somewhere in an article, whether it be online, whatever, that adds to your expertise. If they're going to promote you on social video or social media, very valuable, because now you're getting into other people's audiences. Maybe you're going to speak and they're going to do an email blast about you. Very valuable, because again, you're building your list. So think about all these pieces of value that you can get from speaking. It is stunning to me, the number of speakers who go out there, they write their signature keynote and they go, here it is. And they stop, and that's it. That's all they do. They say, I wrote my keynote. Why isn't the world flying to me and asking me to get on their stage? They don't want to do anything about it. They don't want to work at it. They don't want to put effort in. To be a successful speaker, to immediately go to this level, all you need to do is put your heart into it, to say, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to start reaching out to people and networking. I'm going to get on one stage because the one stage leads to the next one. I'm going to get on social media. I'm going to get video done, right? And there are video clinics where you can get sizzle reels done, where you can get on a stage if you don't even have a speaking program yet. I'm going to do Facebook Live. I'm going to start talking to people. The best way to get speaking is by speaking. And you got to do that, right? You've got to put effort in. Companies are not going to come to you until you're a big enough name they've heard of you, right? Till you've reached influencers. So you need to start reaching out to influencers. But by setting a track down, by starting to plan, by putting in effort, that is going to put you way ahead of other speakers, because so many speakers don't want to try. So effort is going to make you successful.
I'm going to start off with a visualization. So I just want you to get comfortable, sit back so you feel comfortable in your chair, your feet are flat on the floor. I want you to close your eyes, and I just want you to listen to my lovely voice, okay? So eyes are closed, you're sitting back and you're just listening to my voice. I want you to picture yourself standing on a bridge, and it's a very high bridge. And as you're standing on this bridge, it begins to pour down raining, and it's raining in buckets. You do happen to have an umbrella with you. And I want you to look at yourself on the bridge in the middle of this storm. And I want you to see, is your umbrella open or is your umbrella closed? And there's also 3 words that are written on your umbrella. So I want you to take a couple seconds out and think, what are those 3 words that are written on your umbrella? Then at one end of the bridge is a glass door, and that door is locked. So you're unable to go through that door. But then at the other end of the bridge is another door, but that is a wooden door. So you can't see what's beyond that door, but that door is slightly open. So I want you to just kind of picture yourself in this situation on this high bridge, pouring down raining. You have an umbrella that's either open or closed. It's got 3 words written on it. There's a glass door that's locked that you cannot go through. There's an open wooden door that is open, but you can't see what's on the other side. So just take about 5 seconds and let that sink in, and then we'll talk about it. But the way that we're going to talk about it is going through these 3 personal keys that I talked about. The first one is know yourself. The second one is nurture your life. And the third one is integrate your life. This topic number 1 is about knowing yourself. It's about knowing your own self-image, and understanding the role that self-image plays in your own personal growth and your development and all of that. And so we talk a lot about women being seen and heard. When I think about the work that I do, particularly as it relates to Women Speakers Association, it's all about inspiring women to be seen and heard. I heard somebody talking earlier today, and they kind of mentioned how women are conditioned to present themselves in a certain way. And oftentimes we're presented from the perspective of not necessarily being seen and not necessarily being heard, okay? So this is a little bit different. So what I want you to do is look at this. This is a list of 10 beliefs about being seen and heard. And I want you to think about each one of these items and pick out one of them that really resonates with you. Either it's something that you embrace emphatically, or it's something that you struggle with. Okay, so just take a couple seconds, read through the list, and think about which one of those really resonates with you. So we're going to move on to topic number 2. And topic number 2 is around nurturing your life and being committed to making wise choices, building quality relationships, embracing change. And so I have a couple of 3 key considerations listed here. Seeking opportunities for self-improvement, overcoming fear, which is something that Jackie just alluded to, but also self-sabotaging resistance, and sustaining improvement and positive change. So what steps have you taken in the past to cultivate that type of care and those type of changes? And I have a few items listed there, but you can certainly go beyond those. I'm just going to. Excellent. So the third one is around how well your life is integrated. So I'm going to give you a little quick snippet of a background. When I think about your life being integrated, when I was in corporate America, they would always, like I used to have these conversations with HR people whenever they would talk about work-life balance. And I would say, but that doesn't make any sense to me, because when you use the term work-life balance, it almost sounds as if your life is over here and then your work is over there, but the two don't really come together and they conflict with one another. So that was always the image that I had in my mind. So when I was putting all of this together, I was looking at it more from the way of living a fluid lifestyle where everything just kind of flows together depending on what the needs are, what the circumstances are, and that you're able to make those types of adjustments. And so what I want you to think about now is how you go about managing the different interconnected roles that you have, right? And so I do ministry work, I do volunteer work, I work with nonprofits, I do life coaching, I do Women Speakers Association. So, and I have my family, my kids are here, my grandson, and all of that. And so if I had that rigid way of looking at my life, I would say my life is just completely out of control. But because it's fluid, we're able to kind of make the adjustments along the way. So what I want you to do is kind of think about your life from that perspective and share. So let's go back to the visualization and talk to me about, so first, tell me what did the umbrella represent to you? And was your umbrella opened or closed? And what were the 3 words that were written on your umbrella?
My umbrella was open because I was trying to get maximum surface area to prevent that water from hitting me. And then my words were, let me try to remember, it was faith, strength, and love. Those are my 3 words, which is, it goes back to when I talk about my words, I'm really careful about my words. It goes back to that whole thing, but that's a whole nother subject. But yeah, it was open. And then when I was visualizing being on the bridge, I think prior to the pandemic, once again, I would have tried to beat my way through the side with the where you could actually see where you were going. But if it's open on this side, even though it's a wooden door, that's the faith. I'm taking the wooden door side. I'm going to take the crack in the door and go that way.
So what about you, Karen? Talk to me about what that, you visualizing yourself being on that bridge under those circumstances. Talk to me about what was going on with you.
Yeah, well, my umbrella was open, but I was still getting drenched and loving every minute of it. And I was kind of like the singing in the rain, kind of the twirling around in it, because for me, that was refreshing. It was like a refreshing opportunity to renew, because that bridge is long and open, and it was going to be a restart. So I am truly a risk taker. And when you were giving us the doors, automatically, I'm going through that little cracked wooden door, because that's a restart, a refresh, and a renew. And then I'll dry off in the midst of it.
Excellent. Thank you. That was great.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Miss Jackie?
So and so wonderful. I was inspired by both. I was the one who had my umbrella open. Then I was like, forget this. I put it down, and I was just like looking up and basking in it, thinking, this is all right. And I'm like, yeah, that's why I love natural hair. I don't have to worry about the rain. Uh-oh, stop. And The words were family, God, and love. And those are really what is foundational and important. And family's not only blood relatives, but my collective human family that I have acquired along the way. And I was teetering between, okay, yes, I see that, but this door is open. I think I'm going to try both of them.
Okay.
So, a venture in seeing if I could use this umbrella to break through the glass. Not be a barrier, and then to peek on the other side as well.
Okay, thank you. Sherelle, you're up.
Well, my purple and yellow umbrella was open.
Oh, you colorized
and the
yours.
words that were on, I came up with color. It was it said jump in. It said jump into opportunity. And I would normally go through the cracked door because that's the easiest door, right? It's already open. And what I'm learning is that sometimes you grow when you're challenged. You grow when you have an obstacle to go through. And sometimes the path that's most traveled isn't the one that you should be going in, but the one that's a little bit more difficult, because that's where most of the reward is. So my normal easy is, well, the door's open, I'm gonna step in. But this one, I was like, no, I'm gonna try to break down a barrier that might be in my way. Maybe it was something that subconsciously was holding me back from something that was supposed to be mine, but I didn't go forward with it. So that's a challenge for me to just push through. So that's how I looked at that.
Amen. Thank you. Thank you for that. And then Yasmin?
For me, the rain, my umbrella wasn't up because the sun was shining. And for me, the sun shining represents the calm in the storm. So no matter what was going on around me, it was unwavering to me. And then the glass door represented the barrier, because on the other side of the glass door, I can see a mountain, which was blocking me from whatever I was trying to achieve. But the wooden door represented to me the unknown, because I couldn't see what was on the other side, but I know whatever's on the other side of the unknown is growth. So I proceeded to the wooden door.
Amen. Amen. Thank you, guys. That was amazing. That was just amazing. So what I normally do is kind of share with people, I do that visualization. And one of the things that I sort of bring out of that is this whole idea of being in this growing space. So when you're standing on that umbrella and you got one thing at one end, you got another thing at the other end, and you're making some decisions about where am I going? How am I doing it? To me, that's your becoming space. Because every time you make a decision about something in your life, something about you changes. Sometimes it's not like a big, huge fanfare of a change, but sometimes it could just be some inner belief that may have gotten shifted, or some way that you looked at yourself in terms of your self-image that may have gotten shifted. So I kind of look at that space and those decisions that you're making. Is my umbrella up? Is it down? What are the words? The rain? Am I embracing the rain? Am I trying to avoid the rain? Which door? That's your growing space. And that's your becoming space. And that becoming space is where all of your growth actually happens, when you're making those choices and making those decisions and all of that. So yeah, that's kind of why I do that visualization, just to kind of drive home that point that we're all unique, but we're all uniquely changing, and we're all uniquely growing. And that daily growth is a personal investment in your development in so many areas of your lives. So that pretty much brings us to the end. If there's any follow-up comments, I would appreciate them. You guys were amazing. That's basically what I want to say. I love your sharing, the way you just kind of brought it home and all of that. I really, really appreciate your presence, each and every one of you.